Good evening, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Sanjana Vijaykumar, and I'm the Learning Chair of EU Coimbatore and the host for today's virtual learning event on social entrepreneurship. Today's webinar is titled Good Karma, Good Business. The million-dollar question is, can you do good business by doing good? Hope you find the answer to this critical question after today's session. With this event, we hope to create awareness about social entrepreneurship and also introduce you to two of India's top social entrepreneurs and change makers who are providing innovative solutions to India's pressing social problems. This webinar is recorded and you will receive an email with a link to the recording in 24 hours. I would like to start with an introduction about myself and why I am so passionate about social enterprises. I am a textile engineer by education and have spent over 10 years in my family textile business manufacturing and exporting home textiles under the Microcotton brand to leading retail stores worldwide like Macy's, Bloomingdale's and Bed Bath & Beyond. About 5 years ago, my cousin Kirutika and I visited the homes of one of our textile mill workers and we were concerned about their living conditions. Despite earning good wages, they were living in rented homes that were cramped, without proper ventilation, lighting and sanitation. They did not have access to good affordable housing because there were no real estate developers building homes for the low-income group. We decided to do something about it. We embarked on a remarkable journey, visiting the homes of several families of the low-income group, understanding their living conditions, their needs and requirements, and also visiting other developing countries to learn about how they were addressing affordable housing with innovative construction technologies. We then launched our first affordable housing project in 2013, with homes starting at rupees 7 lakhs, which is less than US $10,000. Today, over 700 families have benefited from our efforts, and our vision is to reach the millions of families who still aspire to own homes. Our vision is in line with our Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Vision 2022, which is to have housing for all Indians by the year 2022. India would require 11 crore housing units, which is about 110 million homes, to achieve this mission. We hope to continue building dreams. Now let's move on to the introduction of these two amazing social entrepreneurs that I have with me today. They are changing their world with their social organizations and empowering millions of Indians. Let me start with the introduction of Dr. Ramani, founder and managing trustee of Sankara Eye Foundation. Dr. Ramani is a social entrepreneur who has brought quality vision care to the poor and underprivileged, especially in rural India. His not-for-profit healthcare organization, Sankara Eye Foundation, is one of the world's largest eye care networks. And his phenomenal outreach program, The Gift of Vision, has allowed millions of Indians to be screened and treated for free. Dr. Ramani founded his social enterprise in 1977 along with his wife, Dr. Radha, when they were just in their mid-20s. Today, Dr. Ramani's network of 12 hospitals across several states in India have performed cumulatively over 1.4 million vision restoring surgeries. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Ramani. Dr. Ramani, thank you so much for being here this evening, and we look forward to hearing about the great movement that you started 39 years ago that have brought millions from darkness to light.
Thank you, Sanjana. Namaskar, dear friends. Thank you very much for this opportunity to interact with every one of you across the globe. Permit me to share with you our journey spread over the last 40 years with certain amount of pardonable pride. Ours a voluntary initiative. Anything which is started in a voluntary capacity, you would agree, would have far-reaching results than something which is done under compulsion. On a humorous note, I would like to quote here, most of the villages here, either in India and other parts of the globe, will always have a pond or a lake to provide water either for irrigation or for drinking purposes. One such village, early in the morning one day, a stranger came in and he was walking along the brim of the pond. Suddenly the fellow slipped and fell into the water. As luck would have it, he did not know swimming. He went into the water the first time, came out and shouted for help. Again he went in for the second time. Hundreds of people were standing there, nobody to go and help him. He came out for the third time, perhaps he's going to drown himself permanently. At that point of time, a young man got into the water. Together they struggled for a while and both of them came out of the water. The entire crowd looked at this young man very appreciatively. When all of us were just passive observers, this man has braved his life and gone and saved the drowning person, looked at him very appreciatively. Whereas he looked at everybody and asked, "Who pushed me inside?" He was also a passive observer. Somebody has pushed him for the heck of it. Having gone into the water, the other guy is holding his leg. So he has to bring him out to save himself. Friends, when I say voluntary, I don't mean this kind of an initiative. We started 40 years ago a voluntary movement. For all of us to take up any initiative, take up a cause, we need the inspiration. I was fortunate to have it from my parents, my father and mother, and the support from my doctor wife, and the guidance from my guru, the Shankaracharyas of Kanchi. Way back in 1977, as Sanjana had mentioned, we started a small primary healthcare activities. 10 of us in our mid-20s joining together to provide primary healthcare. Gradually expanded the activities. More and more industrial groups of Coimbatore came and approached us and said, we will also have a medical center. Started 9 such medical centers, and we are treating around 1,000 patients a day across Coimbatore. As this activity was going for about 7 to 8 years, the team which started as 10 young doctors, we became 75 doctors from every specialty, a huge team of like-minded medical and non-medical people. In the year 85, we realized that we should take a specific area of activity, a specialty, and we chose eye care because of 2 reasons. One, there is a huge need for eye care in our country. 45 million are visually handicapped in India. 12 million are totally blind. 1/4 of the world's blind live in our country. It is the irony that 80% of them, they don't have to be blind at all. They are needlessly blind. It is either preventable or curable blindness. So we chose eye care. The second reason, when we do something in the field of eye care, we are able to show a palpable difference in the lives of the millions. They come to us totally blind the previous day and walk back with vision the next day. So we chose eye care, and we started building the Shankara eye care movement from the scratch. The first activity was eye banking. When someone passes away, the eyes are gifted, and that is transplanted to someone who is corneally blind. We started motivating the community because you need the community to support you, to donate the eyes. And we did it successfully in Coimbatore because the first 10 years people were watching us and the activities. Coimbatore is a very compact, well-knit society, and they got motivated and came forward and said, we'll be part of this eye banking movement. And now we receive a pair of eyes every day. And corneal transplants are carried out on blind children, adults, and the elderly. The second activity we chose, as Sanjana mentioned, is titled Gift of Vision. We said, let us take quality eye care to rural India and named the program as Gift of Vision. And we didn't want to do it as just as a publicity work. We surveyed the rural population for about 8 weeks, identified those who got visual impairment, give them an ID card, examine them 8 weeks later, bring those who would need a surgical intervention to the base hospital, provide them with a state-of-the-art surgery, stay, food, everything totally free of cost, and drop them back. Since the year 2000, we have screened close to around 3.5 million patients in the villages and performed 1.5 million free eye surgeries, and presently every day we as a group are performing 500 free eye surgeries to the rural poor. The third area of activity is for the children. preventive eye care for school children. You'll be surprised to know that 6% of school-going children have undetected visual defects, which neither the child nor the teachers nor the parents are aware of. So we designed this program titled Rainbow, involve the teachers, involve the parents and the community, started screening in the different phases, and then we brought in the eye surgeons in the final stage, and so far close to 4.5 million students have been examined and treated wherever indicated. For newborn, we have yet another program titled Swagatam, where we screen the newborn children for, again, congenital anomalies. All these programs have been designed in such a way that it appeals to the community. It elicits an interest in the mind of the community. We give all the details to them, be as transparent as possible. So they come forward and say, they appreciate and come forward and say that we would like to be your partners in making this happen. The next program is Diabetic Retinopathy Program for rural India, another need-based program. Diabetes is no more the disease of the rich. Even in the villages, we see many people suffering from diabetes, and the first organ to get affected is eyes. So we said, let us screen them. And those who have got a retinal involvement, let us just bring them and do whatever treatment that is required. And finally, the hospital to provide the services. We at the Shankara Eye Hospitals in India, perhaps globally, we are the only institution having a unique model of 80:20. This 80:20 ratio is like this: 80% of our beneficiaries are the rural poor who get totally free eye care, while the balance 20% are the rich and the middle income group of people who pay for the treatment, thereby cross-subsidize the free services and make the hospital self-sustaining. Any activity, any enterprise has to be self-sustaining. Here we chose to provide our expertise to all sections, the rich, the middle income and the poor. To the poor we give it free, and the rich and middle income they pay for it, and the ratio is 80% free services, 20% to those who can afford, and make the hospital self-sustaining. Now this model, as we were just doing it over the years, we realized that we should share our experience for the benefit of the rest of the country. A program titled Vande Mataram, launched during our Silver Jubilee, that is the 25-year completion, where we said, let us replicate one such hospital in every state. We identify the location of the new hospitals based on the prevalence of blindness, the need for community eye care. Our activity is named as community eye care. Community eye care could be defined as high quality, cost effective, readily available eye care at the doorsteps of rural India. So we identify where there is a need, we train the human resource locally and then put them in to start the hospital in those areas. Human resource is an integral part of any activity. We have a committed team at Shankara. Most of the time people join as manpower and they have to be converted into human resource, then human assets and human capital. How does this happen? Everyone who joins an organization should have job opportunities. He or she should have job satisfaction. They should know there is a scope to grow in an organization. They should have decent monetary compensation. Above all, they should have a pride of belonging. This pride of belonging in an organization like ours, in order to build a sense of ownership in the minds of every single member of the team, has successfully made a real solid human resource force in Shankara. And I'm glad to share with you, dear friends, that attrition in Shankara is very, very minimal. We also bring in a lot of process and systems. Any organization needs to have process and systems for proper administration and management. We have identified different areas functionally, key performance indicators, and they are all evaluated. The structure of the organization is also equally important. Apart from the trust board which we have, ours is a registered public charitable trust under which we have a steering council comprising of eminent people from different walks of life to share their ideas and knowledge, and then the leadership council. Our presidents are in their mid-30s, homegrown, with the same passion, and they constitute the second line of force who take the entire mission forward. For such activity, ultimately, it is the reward which counts. Anything we do, we would like to know what is the reward. I would like to share with you, friends, what happened in the year 1996. We get a lot of volunteers, students from various parts of the world coming and working with us, and there is a girl by name Jennifer Travis from the state of Utah. Supported by Rotary, she came to us, and here she worked for 6 months. On her way back, Jennifer went to a place in Tamil Nadu, a small little tribal village, where she saw a child by name Michael, blind in both the eyes, 2-year-old child. Story behind Michael was so pathetic. The child was born in a tribal hamlet, and soon after the birth of the child, the mother died. The illiterate, ignorant villagers thought he is an evil child and poured a concoction to cure him of the evil. He was blinded. Those days we were getting a pair of eyes once in a week. Now we get every day. Jennifer has seen us doing corneal transplants. She brought this child back to Coimbatore, and we tried, and only one eye had very little chance. We did the transplant. Third day after the bandages were removed, we slowly opened the door to see what this kid Michael is doing. Believe me, he was sitting on the cot. He was keeping his hand in front of his operated eye, and he was just moving it up and down. The child was seeing light and movement for the first time in his life. And you could imagine what would have been our feeling at that time. Millions will not give us the satisfaction as when we can see a totally blind child getting back vision. Giving vision, as far as we have experienced. If we give vision to a child, we give next 80 to 90 years of productive life. You give vision to an adult, you make him or her the breadwinner of the family. You give vision to an elderly couple, you make them independent for their day-to-day activities. They don't have to strain on the rest of the family members. Initial days, I fondly remember, it was Swami Vivekananda saying, who said, help. That is what every member of the society owes to his less fortunate fellow beings. It really inspired me. It was Swami Vivekananda again who said, take one idea, dream of it, think of it, live on it. Let your brain, your muscles, your nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea. Leave alone all other ideas, and that is the way to succeed. It was Robert McNamara, a World Bank chairman, a former World Bank chairman, who once said that absolute poverty could be defined as lack in healthcare, education and water supply, so I chose healthcare. And again, I strongly believe that health is a fundamental human right. It is an attainable social goal. Health development is an integral part of community development and social development. Friends, before I conclude, I would like to just put in a nutshell, when we have a cause, a need-based cause, when we have clear goals to take it forward, a well thought out, planned and transparent approach, a strong team of human resource to work for us, process and systems in place, human resource development as an ongoing phenomena in the organization, community willing to back us up totally, above all divine blessings, success automatically happens. These are the key factors which would take things to a successful level, any organization, any enterprise to a successful level. For me, my profession and passion became the same. That became yet another added advantage. Before I conclude, again on a humorous note, any enterprise, and especially on a social enterprise, we need to develop one quality, and that is patience. Patience is a very important quality. The other day, one of my friends, he had a small little cut injury in the finger. It was bleeding. This fellow looked around. There was a doctor's clinic. A lot of people were seated there. He walked in. The moment he stepped in, a nurse came and pushed him onto the bench. This man showed his finger, which was bleeding, but she was very busy. She went away. Within 2 minutes, the second nurse came. She came and removed his shirt and bunion. This fellow was fuming, showing his finger, but she went away. The next 2 minutes, the third nurse came and kept a thermometer in his mouth. He looked around. There were 40 guys like him, all with their shirt and bunion out and a thermometer in the mouth. The fourth nurse came. She kept on removing the thermometer from each of those patients and recorded the temperature, and came up to him and removed the thermometer. He could not hold any more. He shouted at the fellow sitting next to him and said, "What the hell is this? Is it a mental asylum? I came here for a cut injury and this is what she did for me. I'm going to complain to the chief doctor." That man said, "Patience. Be patient. Look at me. I am the postman for this region for the past 25 years. Every day I come here, they remove my shirt and banyan. They also keep a thermometer. At the end, I will give the post and go away. For one day, you don't become impatient." Dear friends, I hope I have not tested your patience today. I conclude when I'm getting an opportunity like this to interact with entrepreneurs across the globe. The words of Tagore, the Nobel laureate, India's Nobel laureate, poet Rabindranath Tagore. His golden words of Gitanjali would inspire anyone who would like to come up in their chosen area of activity. I conclude with the words of Tagore, "Where the head is held high, where the mind is without fear, where the knowledge is free, where the words come from the depth of truth, where the world is not broken down by narrow domestic walls, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake." Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Dr. Only, for sharing your great vision and your inspiring journey. I was really touched by the story that you shared with us about the 2-year-old blind child, Michael, who you have given the gift of vision. And I'm sure you have touched many millions of lives like this. And it must be very satisfying to lead such a wonderful life. And I hope to ask you a few questions.
Please.
Can you please tell us more about this 80-20 business model that you have, where you mentioned that 80% of your patients receive free care and 20% of your patients are paying patients. How is this cross-sustainable model working out for you?
In fact, we have succeeded in this model. It takes almost around 5 years for any hospital to become self-sustaining in this 80-20 model, because that 80% of the free patients whom we pick up from the villages, right from the very first year, we'll be able to bring them. Maybe the first month we may not get that many patients. They have to gain some confidence. But the 20% will take time. In fact, the first year it will be around 95-5, then it will move on to 90-10, then 85-15, and then 80-20, perhaps in the 5th year. And what happens is, when the community looking at you in the hospitals is located in a city, and the local people keep seeing you doing so much of good work, they don't just brand you as a Janata hospital or what we call as a hospital for the poor man. They also realize that you have perhaps one of the best expertise. Just to give you an example, a doctor who has, say, operated on about 100 patients would have, say, X amount of expertise. A doctor who has operated on 1,000 patients would have so much of expertise. Imagine someone who has operated on about 10,000 patients, and what is the kind of an expertise the doctor would have. So the entire team is geared up with so much of knowledge and experience and hands-on, people start appreciating. And when there is a facility where someone who can afford to pay can walk in, pay and have the treatment. And also know that by paying this, 3 things happens to your paying patients. He says, A, I get an international world-class eye care here. Uncompromised quality. Number 2, still I do not pay more, I just pay the market price. And 3, by paying this, it's not me alone who is getting a free eye surgery, it is helping 4 more poor patients for their free eye surgery. So once this thought comes in, it becomes. So that takes time, it takes around 5 years for each hospital to become self-sustaining.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I have personally visited your hospital and have really enjoyed the outstanding ambience that you have and the environment that you have chosen to build your unique hospitals in. And please tell us more about your Vision 2020. It must be very exciting to be growing rapidly and having footprints in almost every state in India.
Yeah. Vision 2020 is a very, I should say it's a magnificent obsession. It's an obsession for us. We realize that every state is not provided with quality eye care. Down south, we have a lot of good hospitals, but when we go to the northern India, we find it difficult, patients find it difficult to reach out to quality eye care. So when we started replicating, what we do is, the human resources identified from those cities and the surrounding villages. They are trained over here in Coimbatore and Bangalore and posted back to work for their own people. So the identification of the human resource, training right from the doctors to the optometrists to the paramedical staff, it's all trained in any of our existing hospitals and posted back. And again, to choose the prevalence of blindness in a particular locality, as per the Government of India's National Program for Control of Blindness, there is a data available. So we find out which are all the areas, which are all the states which need eye care, and then we go there and start the activity. So this Vision 2020, again, when we say Vision 2020, it is 20 by 20, it is perfect vision, 6 by 6 or 20 by 20 feet, and that we are trying to aim at. If not at 2020, couple of years, we'll be completing that.
We wish you all the best for that.
Thank you.
Lastly, is there any other message that you would like to share with all the entrepreneurs on starting social enterprises that can save the world and yet be a sustainable business model?
Yes, friends. Basically, all of us get ourselves educated. We start either a profession or a business, primarily because we need a comfortable living for ourselves, our family, our kith and kin. But once we have reached a certain level, we feel comfortable in our own friend, then we start looking around, can I do something for someone else? Someone who is not as fortunate as you and me are. Precisely at that point of time only, the social enterprise comes in its true perspective. We start looking around. Again, we have to choose the area, choose the cause. It has to be, just because we are available there, we cannot give something which is not required for the community, a need-based cause, and then start planning. And any enterprise, whether it's a regular enterprise or a social enterprise, it has to be professionally managed. Professional management gives a lot of results. And in our day-to-day administration, one of the areas which we felt that we need to be very careful is the review mechanism. Most often we bring in process and systems, we just give the protocols, but there is no mechanism by which we just follow up review mechanism. Once we have a good review mechanism, then we will succeed. I am sure all of you, every one of us, have got a social entrepreneur in our within ourselves. We want to do good, whatever we can. So my best wishes to every one of you. Join hands, let us do much more for the needy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramani, for the wonderful message, and we hope that many more entrepreneurs in the EO community, after listening to you, will take up noble causes like you have that will make a great social impact. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Sanjana.
I now take pride in introducing yet another social entrepreneur who is empowering Indian women today by inventing a low-cost sanitary pad making machine. The re-engineered sanitary pad machine that he invented won the award for the best innovation for the betterment of society from the Indian Institute of Technology, Chennai. He also has received an Indian Presidential Award for Innovation. Currently, more than 1,300 machines made by his company Jayashree Industries are installed across 27 states in India and 7 other countries. Everyone, please welcome Padma Shri, Mr. A. Muruganandam. Mr. Muruganandam, yes. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening, and please do share with the EO community about the sanitary pad revolution that you have started that has empowered Indian women.
So, Vanakkam. Hi everyone. First is a warning. For next 15 minutes, what the English I am going to speak is my own English. I can miss my pronunciation 100 times, but I am very confident I can convey the message to you. So now I am sitting as a social entrepreneur, but I don't have any idea to get into that 20 years before. Everything I started from my wife, something I tried to help my wife, now it has gone global. So what I want to say to the audience, if anything you want to do it global, you start from your family, then you go to global. don't do it something global, then end up with the family. So I am a son of a handloom weaver. My father died in a road accident, then my mother became a caretaker of the family. That too in a small village, in India, down south, Coimbatore, it's a small Orthodox city. Then with the 5 rupees income, we are 3 at our home, 2 sisters and myself. She is trying to make me as a collector, and one sister into doctor, another sister into lawyer. Why? Because my mother used to see a lot of Tamil movies in big screen where heroines to do all of this gimmicks. But being a small boy, I understood it is only possible by the heroines in the cinema, not by my mother. To support my mother, one day I decide under the neem tree, from tomorrow I am not going to school. So actually that is a real important turning point in my life. I decided one day I am not going to school from tomorrow. But these are all my mother don't know. Even now the media people coming to my home, my mother used to say, see my son without education what he is doing. If he will get educated, what he will do. I don't know, if I get educated, I become a call center employee somewhere putting the mic, earning $1,000 something. Then I became a workshop helper. I learned welding. Then I had a small workshop in my city. Then the moment you are having the age around 27 or 25, then you are having a small business. What is next? Even after seeing many men they are suffering, it is very difficult to manage. Knowing everything, I also did the same mistake. One day I got married. That was arranged marriage. Then you see that joint family, I don't know how many of you know the joint family. It is a beautiful system in India where you can learn management. It is a key source to learn management. It's a joint family, not the IIM. I'm very strongly saying in IIMs now. So where after getting married, I try to speak with my new wife. I don't get privacy time. Whenever I'm trying to speak with the new wife, either my mother used to see my sister, the husband, the relatives. The only available time is the lunch time. So like that we used to intimate each other. Then one day I saw my wife, something is trying to carry behind her to purposes to hide with me. Then I thought the new wife is playing with me. I asked her, what is it? She replied like slapping on my cheek, it is none of your business. Then I ran away behind her. I saw a nasty rag cloth with a blood stain. Then I understood she is adopting the unhygiene practice to manage her period days. Use just image what I am talking in front of the camera. It's a taboo in my country. Earlier I thought it only in my country, around the globe. So menstruation is a taboo. Nobody has ever talked about this subject. A wife never talked to husband. A doctor never talked to mother. Friends, they don't talk each other. Such a subject I am speaking 100 and 1,000 times in a public domain. So in those days I saw my wife is trying to use the unhygiene method. Then I asked her, why you are adopting this unhygiene method? There is some product in shop. She said, I also know about that, but myself, your sisters, other women start using that. We have to cut our family milk budget. Then I get shocked, what is the connection between using a sanitary towel and not buying milk for family? Then I understood it's a matter of affordability. On a particular day, I got only one idea, because being arranged marriage, what is my important job, To impress my new wife, I used to offer 5 rupees plastic pendant or 10 rupees glass bangle, not into giving in direct. I used to gift wrap, then there is a color ribbon. My wife name is Santi. I used to say, Santi, close your eyes, turn left, turn right. This way I am giving a value addition for my small gift. Because I am not a rich man to offer every time a diamond pendant. Now I got again a chance. On a particular day I thought, why not offer a sanitary pad packet as a gift? This is what I always started. Then I went to the drugstore or medical shop in your town to buy the product, because the only place even now to buy all the brands of the particular product. I went to the medical shop. Then the shopkeeper asking what brand you want, who knows brand and all. I just point to the packet inside the showcase. What the shopkeeper he took the packet, he never handed me like other products. He placed an old newspaper, he wrapped, he looks left and right. He handed me like a banned product, a smuggling product. So it makes us curiosity, what is inside the packet? If I open the packet, something will jump out from the packet like a frog. That's why I took the packet to my home. I opened the packet. I am touching the very first time in my lifetime a sanitary towel. I saw 8-inch length, a white color substance like a bandage. Usually I will stop here. I will ask the gentleman in front of me, how many of the man here you ever touched the sanitary pad in your life? Definitely no matter I am talking in London or in Geneva or in France or in Italy, only few hands raised. That's why many countries, presidents, they don't know what is sanitary towel. Many countries, prime ministers, health ministers, they don't know. That's why the horrible situation is happening in the women personal hygiene domain. So this is why I don't know on a particular day, because being a handloom weaver son, whatever I'm taking, my mind used to say the weight. The product which I took out the packet, maybe 10 grams. Inside white color substance means cotton. In 1998, the raw material cost is nothing but 10 cents. But I bought the product for $6 a piece. Then I thought, why not try to make a affordable pad for my wife? This way I started. Then, in my city there are 400 plus textile mills. Then I went to the next day to a textile mill. I bought a cotton web. Then I cut into rectangle. I made a similar napkin what I bought from the shop in 2 days. Now the problem is, if I want to do any industrial research or mechanical, very well I can do it in my smaller shop. Now I enter into women personal hygiene. I need a women volunteer. So where I can get women volunteer? It is very difficult to talk about the subject. The only available choice or victim is my wife. Then as usual I gift up the 2 napkin what I made. Then I said, close your eyes, Santi. Then I put my napkin on the head. The moment I opened, my wife gets shocked, oh my God, you are entering into this research now. Then I said, like giving a chocolate, use it, I give the feedback. Because I don't know any idea about what is menstruation, when it is happening, how it is happening. I don't know nothing, I don't have any hesitation to tell in front of you. Because I am having a gloomy idea. I am in my village, there is a small goddess temple. Women used to assemble in front of the temple. Only few entered into the temple, rest they will wait outside. Out of it I got an idea. Women are getting menstruation Friday. That's what I selected a Good Friday to hand over the napkin to Santi. Now I am asking the feedback instantly. Then she said, no, not like that, I have to wait for a month time. Then only I understood it is happening monthly. I never feel ashamed to tell in front of you, because in this world, boys, then they are becoming man, then they are becoming husband, then they are becoming father and grandfather, great grandfather, then they are dying without knowing what is happening in the partner's body. Luckily I came to everything on my early marriage days. Then I forgot about it. After a few weeks I got a result from my wife. She said like, it is very bad. I am going back to my cloth using method. Then is real research started. I am trying to use a different mill cotton. Here the problem is, being a menstruation domain, my wife used to say it is not good, but they won't elaborate. See, something I am trying to create a product on a co-creation basis. Unless I realize the customer, they are not giving the full detail, I cannot create the product in perfect. So being a menstruation topic, even the wife or sister, they won't give elaborate. They used to say single word, that feedback, yes, no, TK. That too they will turn to the wall, I have to see the feedback. Then they will get frustrated. They warn me, if you are going on do this silly thing at our home, we are going to tell your mother. Then I never stop the research. Whenever I am at my workshop, I am working with iron, I am succeeding. The simple cotton matter make me fail. Now the only problem, I need women or girl where I can get. Then I thought, why not approach the medical college girls? Then I catch few dozen girls in medical college. Then what has happened with my family, uneducated women, the same thing happened with educated girls. They are also having hesitation with talk about their menstruation with the unknown man. Then I get frustrated. Then I decide, why not try sanitary pad myself? I wore a sanitary pad where I can go for uterus. I made artificial uterus in a rubber bladder. I filled animal blood in it. I tied on my hip. There is a tube connection to the bladder and to the napkin. While I am cycling and walking, I made a small press to the rubber bladder. A dosage of blood will go there. You just imagine, the whole story never happened in Las Vegas or San Francisco. It has happened in Papanayak in Coimbatore. Something is happening around me, I never realized. Because there is a blood stain on my cloth, anyone come near me, there is a foul smell around me. Then even after using sanitary pad, then it became unnatural. Then one day I decide, instead of giving a napkin to a woman or girl and begging them what happened, why not ask a used pad from the girl? In between what happened, while I am using that medical college girls, I never told to my family. Then one day while my wife serving lunch, she is asking permission, I am going to ask one thing, don't mistake me. Then I said, go ahead. She started crying. Many of my friends are saying you are roaming with medical college girls. Then I said, because I have the matter to my wife. Then I said, no, the medical college gate became kharab. I went to the repairs. She never convinced. She said, I want to go to my parents' home for a few da's. I dropped her at my mother-in-law home. Then week gone, month gone, 2 months gone, she never come back. Then finally in 2.5 months, I got a divorce notice from my wife. That's the first luck I got for the research. I never took it serious because she is giving a shock treatment to drop the research, to make the husband to drop the research. My mother is with me, there is no problem for food. Now I decided one serious idea, collecting back the used napkin from the women and seeing why it has become so tough. So what is the school of Morana doing now? I am rubbing shoulder with Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson. We are able to sustain on 12th year. Because how that softening industry is monopolized by 2 companies, Even now the Coke is claiming there is a secret formula. You cannot decode by sending any lab. The same way this product also, you cannot decode what is metal inside the same. That's why I am trying to understand the material what they used. It took years. Then I understand the material what is inside. Then I spend another 4.5 years to make machine. From the day one, after 8.5 years, I succeed. So even after being a machine, it should get evaluated somewhere. I send the machine to IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. Those days I don't know the difference between Industrial Training Institute and IIT, because both are having I's and T's. Then where I saw first time man with French beard, they are wearing Bermudas and Nike shoes. They are speaking the English with whole body, no, I. Then I get shocked, because those days I don't know the English what I am speaking. They agreed this innovation, but there is a criticism. Why this man took his whole life into risk? He made a small machine on wood. What is going to do with this? Because there only confusion how Murugan is going to apply the simple equipment against big companies. So many times you are unable to debate with your superiors, your mother-in-law, your wife. Don't debate. Show it practical success, then they will shut their mouth. That's why I took the first machine from Tamil Nadu to Madhubani in Bihar, where I stayed with the village women. Then I only know a beautiful thing has happened. Then I made another machine, I sent it to Chhattisgarh. Then these are all very downtown states in my city. They understood one data, in India only not even 10% women are using sanitary pad. Then it has become a news across India, because it became a problem. Even the federal government of India, they are warning me on what source, on what data you are telling like this. Then they called some AC Nelson. I don't know how many million they spent. The AC Nelson group took 1.5 years time. Then they come out the figure, in India only 12% women are using sanitary towel. So now what our mission is, we are trying to make this machine, creating a livelihood for a woman and making India into 100% napkin using country from the current level of less than 10%. So it's always happened. Instead of seeing an opportunity, I look for a problem. So I'm addressing the problem with my little knowledge. I become a solution provider. So whomever they are interested, they become a solution provider. Then you make the solution on a public platform. So very well, then you can call as a social entrepreneur. So very simple. The difference between regular entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship, very simple. The regular entrepreneurship means it is cutthroat, making profit. But on social entrepreneurship, the prime aim is creating a social impact. So very well, we created a social impact. We created around 24,000 livelihood for women, and we shifted 13 million women from unhygiene method to hygiene method. So this now it has become gone global. It is not only India, we are spread around 17 countries. Soon we are going to spread more than 70 countries. So you just think, even being a small, you can make a big impact. You don't need to be big to make a big impact. So that is understood from my story.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muruganandam, for sharing your very interesting and incredible story. The statistics about the number of women in India using sanitary napkins is shocking at 12%, and I really hope that we achieve your mission to make it 100% by making it more affordable. I have a few questions for you. Can you share with us, what are the challenges that you face in branding a socially responsible product that you make?
Now, very many people, you are thinking, the moment you are trying to do something good for society, people used to put red carpet in front of you. I also thought the same. Now I understood doing good is double time tough than doing bad to society. The moment you go to do something good, the people will think, why is this man coming to do something good? Out of it, what is going to get? So that too, the domain is women personal hygiene. It is very difficult to talk. So it's a messy area. So even now, many people are thinking, I become celebrity, maybe now my life is cakewalk. But one side I am become celebrity, the next side I am going to the rural area, nobody know who I am started beaten by the rural management. So this is what the difference between a regular entrepreneurship, a cinema hero and a social entrepreneur. Every day is a day one for you if you are a social entrepreneur.
It is definitely a challenge being a social entrepreneur, but as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, I'm sure you will achieve success. Can you share with us about how your recognition, both regionally, nationally and globally, has helped create awareness?
Is now why the story become very viral. So we actually broke the rule. Earlier, only big can do the big, like Melinda Gates Foundation or something. Now there is a proof, oh my God, even a small can do a big impact. Now many people, they are coming into the domain. So it became that encouragement point. So the very simple, the Indian women are not using the sanitary pad. So the moment I say everybody is coming, the 2A problem, the first A stands for availability, the second A stands for affordability. In our experience, we found the third A, awareness is missing. To make awareness, by drawing a check or something, you cannot do this. So that's what I told. We created around 900 plus local brands, sanitary pad brands, not out of retailing or by e-tailing, but by detailing. To do detailing, like sir said, you need passionate workers. It is very, very difficult to recruit the people very first day. You have to involve the people, then they become employee, then later they have to have the prestige working with us. It will take at least a decade to get every person. That's what I told. To create awareness, it should be detailed. To do detail, it will take more time. That's what to make social impact, you need at least a decade. It cannot be in one day.
So thank you so much for sharing with us, and we wish you all the best in your vision as you hope to empower more women in India. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Dr. Ramani, for being here with us. I would like to now conclude this session on social entrepreneurship with a quote from a notable Coimbatore-born global business thinker, C.K. Prahlad, who co-authored the socially relevant book, The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, Eradicating Poverty Through Profits. He said, if we stop thinking of the poor as victims or as a burden, and start recognizing them as resilient and creative entrepreneurs and value-conscious consumers, then a whole new world of opportunity will open up. Thank you everyone for joining us for this virtual learning event. Have a great weekend. Thank you.